The only danger of those is you have to keep people away from there because of the stuff.
Barbed wire fences.
The one we're trying out is actually rotary.
Oh, is it rotary?
Yes.
Yeah, they got, I think they had, somebody was in Texas, somebody got one of those into a barbed wire fence and it became the biggest mess I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They can pull the fence down for a quarter
Well, that was-
mile.
Well, that about 5 miles of fence.
That'll happen with any more of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's getting them in the drum mower, you get them entangled, it's just a lot more difficult.
Good thing about it is I don't remember ever installing fence in our drains, so
Yeah.
it should be good.
Right,
All right.
okay. And item C, Pete's gonna have some more pictures of the Riverside Canal. That project's coming right along, but I wanted to show you all, you remember our D8 Caterpillar and how it needed a paint job, and we bought the paint, we painted it ourselves, and will you switch them, Jake? And it's working great. Caterpillar's working great with those repairs. We put in about $30,000 of repairs in it, and it's a great machine, helping tremendously with the Riverside project.
And go buy a new one and see how good it is.
Yeah, no, we saw them at
I
the,
mean, comparing the prices.
yeah, we saw them at the auction. They were going for anywhere from $200,000 to $375,000.
Wow.
So Pete's gonna have some more pictures on that Riverside project in a little bit, so I just wanted to show you all that. And that's all I have, unless you all have any questions of me.
Okay, district engineer.
Well, Robert and I beat our target was 30,000 acre feet, right, Robert?
Right.
Carryover for our allocation balance the next year, and although it's not 100% final, no, I'm all right, I'll just go with, it's just one number. The calculations, and this includes some of our conservation credit water and some other things, is 33,896, so 34,000 acre feet. So that's good.
And last year was?
Well, we were negative.
We were in
last
the
year.
hole by,
5,000?
no, 18,000.
Well, I think we got out, when they reallocated at the end of the year, we got out part of that. But anyways, there's always some residual water that comes in after we shut off, that we actually allocated in this year. And then we carry it moving forward, but, so we're good. Right now, you guys got the snow report, of course, it's snowing, so that's good. Always, I know it doesn't mean a whole lot this early, but I just want you to remember, when I come back next month and it hasn't been snowing, this month, I brought you snow. And,
You have a copy of yours?
we've had two big events at Wolf Creek in the upper basin, and which get us to about where it's supposed to be. But if you look at the second page on that, you can see the last 4 years that we have been about 50% of normal. So it'd be nice to get back up to normal.
Just keep wishing for these kind of weather events, extreme weather events that we have everywhere, seems like. When is it gonna happen up there? So just keep hoping.
You're waiting for a 1982 event.
Whatever year. But I'm
86.
just thinking about all the 15 inches of rain overnight in different areas, and, floods and tremendous snowstorms and all. We just have kind of been in the middle of all that. So I've been thinking someday it's gonna happen to us up there.
I can't believe now they're saying the compact running a credit. Remember, they didn't have credit before.
Yeah.
That's new.
According to the Bureau of Reclamation, the numbers that they put out this morning, we've got about 206,000 acre feet of Rio Grande project water up there right now, of usable water by the three entities.
Which would include the percentage of it's ours.
Yeah,
Plus
it was almost all ours until this morning, and then so something's changed. So they're allocating 15,000. I mean, one thing that we probably need to do this year is get together with Jim and Steve Hernandez and one or two board members, go up and talk to UAD. Phil wanted me to do it. We've had this discussion for almost 10 years on this compact. The weather patterns have changed significantly enough such that the engineer's minute or engineer's letter that changed the metering station to a different type of accounting. It appears to be deviating significantly from what the intention of the compact was, San Marcial. The reasons for doing that in 1945, 48 were because of remoteness of the location, inability to maintain that site due to extreme floods that they had in 42 there, and the war and some other issues. All those reasons are gone. They want to justify technology is there, we can get a very accurate reading. But we keep getting these, as you guys know, for the last 10 years, we keep getting these huge credits during times of drought. And we thought we had exhausted them, but I can see that it's showing back up, and this has to do with the rainfall patterns, whereas before, in the compact, that wouldn't happen. So, I mean, they changed the whole accounting system.
Because it's at the dam now, we get the.
Well, they changed they used to be at San Marcial, and there was a schedule.
Now they do the level of the dam.
Right, and it used to exclude, like, water that would come in this time of year was ours. Yeah, it wasn't counted, they didn't get credit for it, you know, and some of the other things, and because of rainfall events and other things. And now they're getting credit for it, because this had to happen in the last month, right? And so that used to be our water, and now it's no longer.
How do they gauge that, where it comes from?
Well, it's a complex calculation according to the engineer's letter that involves the change of storage in the reservoir and the metering and
I
elevation.
understand that, but how do they know how much came out of each individual arroyo?
Well, it doesn't matter, they don't care, they do it on the storage and how the storage changes in the dam and what time
But
of
that
year.
stuff that's coming in those arroyos belongs to New Mexico, right?
If it goes into Caballo, it's all ours.
It's two,
Well,
well,
it's
Caballo's
about-
below the compact metering station, but, it's two ways that we were proposed to come up with the same answer. It was a substitution of a procedure that was supposed to replicate very precisely what the compact is required. It is not replicating precisely at all. It is deviating and
So the
generating.
proposal is to put in that gauging station
The
again.
gauging station's already there. The proposal is to go back to use it.
It's already there.
It's been there for a long time, yeah, it's San Marcial. If we need to improve it, we'll improve it, but I think it's fairly
And what
accurate. There's still,
this is an issue for our commissioner, right?
yeah, we brought it up to them several times, but what I think we need to do is get together with EPCWID, I'm certain the two districts want to pursue this again. And, you know, with this continually happening this time of year, I think EPCWID, Phil brought it up to me last week, so we gotta do something. I hadn't seen the numbers.
It's gotta be in their benefit if they want to do it. I mean,
They don't want to do it, yeah. New Mexico does it. Never brought it up, never complained, never said a thing. I think it's generated roughly, probably, we don't know, we don't talk to Philly since calculations, but a very large amount of water over the last 6 months.
Whenever you say New Mexico, that doesn't mean Elton Butte, that means,
No, Elton wants,
that's what's like. when you-
Their advisor
New Mexico
wants-
did not want to do
in
it.
northern New Mexico.
Right, the state engineer.
Well, I don't know if they don't want to. They're extremely quiet about it. They don't ever bring it up. When you talk to them about it at all,
They are aware of it,
they don't
sure.
talk, oh, yeah, they're keenly aware of it.
So it's in their benefit to do it, but not in the benefit of the project, because that's why Elton Butte's in favor of doing it.
Well, it's like any engineering calculation, it's a complex and varying result depending on the scenarios. There may be some scenarios where in certain, this is the way that it generally works, and we've gone over this before, but it's been years since we just brought this issue up, is that when there's a lot of water in the system, it benefits us. This change in procedures benefits us, the thing. So when there's more water than we need, when the reservoir is near full, then it does actually seem to benefit the project, changing procedure. When you're in a drought, especially an extreme drought, or when you're in changing weather patterns, like there's more rain than snow, which is what's happening now with the climate change, then it benefits New Mexico. So when you need the water, it compounds the problem.
It hurts us.
Yeah, it hurts us. When we don't need the water, it helps us. I'd rather have it the other way around.
Well, what it really needs to be is fair.
It needs to be what the compact
Right.
was.
That's what it needs to be.
And the compact says that it'll be metered at San Marcial.
Then it needs to be.
Yesterday, I got an email from a New Mexico water rights claimant, and it said, "Good morning, Mr. Spears. It is not too late to repent."
I thought it was all.
Was he talking personally,
You
or?
feel like it is? You feel like it is?
I've been thinking whether I should say, well, I think I'm beyond redemption, but I have not responded.
I don't think that's what it is.
Anyways, so it looks like about 16,000 acre feet now belongs to, according to reclamation's calculations, northern New Mexico. And so it gives us 206, which is
What do you got
about,
plan on meeting on that issue, and are you gonna include Pat in
no, I think the districts just need to get together and make sure how they want to go forward with it. So we need 2 board members, and we need to get with Gary and Phil. And just, you know, we've talked before about how it'd be good to have just a general annual meeting with the executive committees every year with the 2 districts, just to talk about anything either group wants to
You know,
talk about.
that paper that we got a copy of where they, whatever that water savings.
Offset.
Offset it.
The drop a little bit.
It was amazing to me that they put all that stuff in black and white.
So I'm okay with it.
I am too. I said it amazed me that they actually
Maybe.
wrote something.
They approached, I don't know, as Gary called you, Phil called me saying he wanted to get together on that too.
Yeah, Gary had mentioned it.
Yeah, so I think it'd be good to have the, you know.
No, sure, it's always good to talk. But that, did you remember, Tommy, did you see all that?
Yeah, Jim sent it to me.
Did it get it from you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, Phil sent it to me directly, Gary sent it to him, and then Steve sent it, they distributed it to all of us independently with their protocol.
I was flabbergasted.
But, you know, it's a complex proposal, and then always in these things, the devil's in the detail. It appears, and I haven't talked to Phil about it in detail, but it appears that any deficiencies in the procedure don't hurt us anyways. In other words, it may hurt EBID.
I wasn't really talking about the procedures of the program itself. I was just talking about the admissions they made in the whereases to get us there.
Right.
I've never, ever in my life seen that written anywhere.
We've had it in numerous documents before, but, yeah, this one, I guess, is gonna be approved by the board, so it's good. So.
That they admit that there's a tie between the surface and the.
Oh, yeah, no, we have probably a series of 10 or 20 reports during the litigation that have been discovered and clear admission to the hydraulic
That's a public
connection.
report.
Well, these were public reports too.
Really looked at.
It's been going on for a long, long time.
That's the first admission I ever seen in writing that I've seen.
Yeah. We'll be glad to give you a
Which is good, no, I don't care, which is good, I mean, what I like, it's all tied to the operating agreement. Did anybody send this to our special master down there, so if you would have a copy of that?
I have not, but that's a good thought.
Well,
The
let's,
problem is, if you send it to him, he's gonna be completely at sea, trying to figure out what it's all about.
I just saw the reference.
I think it's still in draft and the board hasn't approved, their board hasn't approved it, and so I think they're asking us for our comments, so I think we
So,
should.
you know, y'all need to study it and see what it
And
affected.
if there's any language that we can approve in it, we should do that and see if that's all acceptable.
All I was just saying, if the special master saw the reference to the operating agreement is a solution to so many problems, you didn't have to look at the specific problem, but that's a solution to many other problems, and it's gonna cause more if it's not in place, that's all. And we still haven't heard anything. That's the strangest thing, whatever, we'll talk about that closer.
You want to give that number again on the usable water?
About 210,000.
Yeah. And 4-Foot Robert is making a prediction for March.
Yep. Oh, yeah, we'll start that process, because if we're gonna do that, we're gonna have to make.
We need to do it as soon as possible. If it's gonna be early, we need to let people know.
I know, that's what it means. So let's start talking about that process if we are gonna try to, you know, right now, we're just 15 to 20% higher than we were last year. We're not that much higher.
But there's a lot of water coming into the dam now.
It's not ours. They just told us that. That's what this thing just said. It all went, all that water that we thought was ours just went to somebody else.
But what the water's coming in now, is that ours either?
Not ours, yeah.
Well, whatever, that's really, the main thing is that we need to be, if it's gonna be early or whatever, we need to inform people as quickly as possible.
Right, so we get some target dates and what would be the threshold that would trigger an early release? How would you like to consider? We're not that much different than we were last year.
You don't tell that.
The
You
Bureau's
know
supposed to
the
give
threshold.
us an allocation in January.
Right, we can push that to December. I think if we're actually gonna start releasing in March, we need to really discuss that.
Whenever y'all ever feel like it's a possibility, we need to discuss it and make that determination. But like I say, the quicker you inform people, the better is when it's gonna be. But what is the trigger point? I don't have a clue. That's y'all's job.
I don't think EPA's going to, at this point, there isn't a sufficient amount of water in the reservoir. Indication there will be a sufficient amount of water in the reservoir by March to release in March.
You have to work it out with them too. So that's what I say, y'all just need to see, come with a recommendation. So we can blame it on you.
Well, it's gonna be hard to recommend. It's gonna be a lot safer to do what we did last year, because we know last year worked and it worked the year before, and that's about how much water we have this year.
There's nowhere written in the policy you have to be safe.
You guys told me, he said, I remember
You just need to be
one of
correct.
our commandments was thou shalt not allocate water thou dost not have.
That doesn't have anything to do with the release date.
Yeah, it does.
No, you can release it earlier and then have it.
Have
later.
nothing for June, yeah.
Right.
That would be fun.
Do that.
You guys don't need the water in July, do you?
Probably not. Third-party construction in District Canal is out.
It's started,
Oh, we're in full force. TxDOT has removed the culverts along North Loop from Horizon Boulevard to Loop 375. They've already replaced half of the street, and they're working on the downstream section. Everything's going really well. They're gonna widen North Loop to the 4-lane configuration, all the way past Horizon Boulevard, just on the east end of that Frontier Piper. And TxDOT on Buford and Alameda, Waterburger here at this intersection, on the Franklin Canal. They removed that old bridge as well, and they have finished setting the box culverts. Because of the school, they gave them a 15-day timeline to remove the bridge, construct, and have it paved. So they've been at it, they're doing really well. Border Patrol has mobilized and started construction along the Riverside Canal on the 3 crossings, Doubles, Las Pompas, and Herring, and all that is currently ongoing, and their target date was February 15th to be out of there at the latest. And
What about on Sylvan Road? Are they doing anything on Sylvan Road?
that was going to be an option to continue after they finish these 3 contingent. The water was not going to be a problem, delivery of water. So at this time, I think they're going to delay it to after the next irrigation season, because that's a husband, so it's a husband feeder. But they have not granted that option yet until they finish with these 3. They'll consider it, and then, so they won't have to go out to bid. They could just award it to the contractor right now, which is, it's American West Contractors. It's a veterans company out of Denver that is the prime, but J.D. Abrams is doing all the work. They're taking doing all the paperwork, I suppose. It was subbed out to J.D. Abrams locally, so. I think they're getting ready on the port of entry. They on the 2nd phase. That's going over Alameda. They started, they were gonna mobilize next month, but they decided to delay it to January. So that's the 2nd phase, is they're gonna span Alameda and the T-131.
There's no,
Yeah.
that's probably completed.
Nothing going on. Dan Williams is, that shouldn't affect us at all. It's spanning the bridge over Alameda.
Yeah, they got the licenses, and we required them to take care of all those problems up front, so that when this time came, we wouldn't have to deal with it. So, it's great.
Yep.
It's a done deal.
That's it for now. There's some starting next month. Cuadrilla will be shut down, Spore Road. At Cuadrilla, they're gonna, TxDOT is gonna replace the bridge there at entering Cuadrilla and the middle drain. So they will mobilize November 30th, I guess Monday after Thanksgiving. So that'll be shut down for 2 months. All is well.
All right, all is well.
We don't have any city projects in our
No,
canal system. We're happy.
All right, drain maintenance program, Pete?
Morning. I'm gonna start off with a couple of the projects that we have completed since our last board meeting back in September.
it's enough. Excuse me.
I think it's here, Chief.
Yeah, it's your baby, yeah, go, I'm sure you control it.
Some of the problems over by the tornado, some of you guys might be aware of this, but the last storm that we had over by, I believe it's, what's the name of that? Alamo, there you go. There's an arroyo that comes from the sandhills and goes directly over Texas 20 and into the tornado. This is part of the damage that it caused. This is after we repaired it, of course. But this section here, the water got so high that it actually ran over the top of the tornado canal and broke into this field here.
That's the design.
Was that?
It is. We talked to Texas, last time Hudson was plagued with this problem because it affects their tailwater. We talked, years ago, we talked to Texas and said, why didn't they never built a siphon underneath there for that arroyo if there's no way to get rid of it? They said, no, the design was to put it in our canal, and the canal filled up too much. I said, well, what do you do then? Well, it just goes over the top. I guess it goes down to that's his feeder.
Well, it did, and it went right into this field right here. So we went in there and kind of dug out all the sand that came in from the sand hills. A couple of flumes that we replaced back in September is this is over by the riverside by Ding Dinger. We've done two down there over the riverside interceptor and the river drain. This is the tie-in into the community ditch. I-270, high winds, losing trees all over the place. We just lost one here 2 days ago on the Ranch A also. That's something we just can't avoid. We continue with the cleaning of the drains. These drains here are from the upper valley. I'm just gonna go through them pretty quick. It's the New Mexico drain. This is the drain we cleaned, I guess about 2 years ago when the fire occurred. We've gone back and redone it. Done some shotcrete up by La Union East. This is just west of Artcraft, between Artcraft and Borderman. Southwest Land Development went in there and kind of dug out our bank. So Jay went ahead and turned around and charged them to shotcrete this whole area, which was about 750 feet that we shotcreted. We got shotcrete in it.
Was there any seepage in that area?
No,
Until they cut it.
until they cut into it, yes. This was more of an insurance. Franklin Canal, this is below the Salitral checks. Here the Salitral or the Franklin, we're narrowing it down to a 14 feet bottom and a 45-foot top to match the existing upstream where the Franklin feeder comes into the Franklin. And you'll notice the approach there to the bridge. We're gonna have to come in here and kind of fill all this here, because if not, this is gonna become a big pool. You can see the sand that has accumulated here. This is just from this water season. We went in there and cleaned it right before water season. This is what's looking right before the shotcrete.
We're narrowing it down, Pete's narrowing it down and speeding up the velocity, so that area is operated at a higher above design water level, so the water pools and the velocity becomes low and the sediment, it becomes a sediment trap.
There's plenty of it out of that feeder,
Yeah.
Yes.
that he was saying.
The city of Socorro is supposed to come in here and clean the bottom of this bridge. What we're gonna go ahead and do is try to narrow the channel under the bridge also to speed up the water to try to eliminate some of this silt that accumulates under here. There's the liner going into it, and then the shotcrete. That's what it's looking like after we shoot it. Montoya heading, this is another problematic area. Here, this is the Montoya heading here. And what happens here is when water comes in here to, either for the Montoya or for the, on the Canotillo, all the weeds get caught right in this area here. And the ditch rider's having to pull them from this bridge. That's the reason we put this bridge in here. So it is a constant problem. Every time we mow, the ditch rider's there 24/7. At the same token, we had some erosion go behind this concrete here, and it started washing into Wasteway 34. So we're getting ready to lose this structure here. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and move this heading up to the front, and we're gonna move this check a little bit further back.
So we can sluice.
Yes. So we're demolishing the whole area here. Now, here in this area here, we had problems here years ago, and what they went and did, they filled the sinkhole or the washout behind here with concrete. So there was a massive amount of concrete all under the structure here that we had to remove.
It wasn't two-sec, it was actually like
Yeah,
three-quarter
well,
aggregate.
actually, no, it was 2
It
seconds.
was
It was 2
two-sec,
seconds.
so it broke up.
Yes. And here we've already removed the check structure, and you can see where the guys are starting to form to put everything back together.
When we do the shotcrete, we don't put, we have the liner, the plastic liner,
It's just a fiber.
whatever it is. We don't, would it help to put some sort of wire in the shotcrete we're putting down as far as the longevity of the situation?
Yeah. We don't because we're saving money in the fiber that's.
And we're adding fiber to it,
I
yes.
understand the fiber.
All the fiber does is keep, when it breaks, it keeps it from moving. But it doesn't have any structure.
It's not, but would that, I mean, it should be a whole lot more expensive, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, it adds in time in terms of placement, slows everybody down quite a bit. And it's probably, how much do you think it'd add, 30% to the cost, probably
The
something
only
like that?
thing that concerns me is, I mean, it looks really nice now. What's it gonna look like in 5 years?
Yeah, that's my question. Seems like
Without
they
any
might
kind of
just break
steel
it
or any
something.
kind of,
Well,
What we've done is we've gone, Pete and I rode the riverside, and I think Robert was with us to look for cracks. And that was the first project we did. And you know what? We found maybe 1 or 2 hairline cracks, and that's all we've had. Haven't had any problems at all.
we're doing construction joints every 10 feet.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's cracked every 10 feet on purpose. Yeah, you won't be able to go very far on this without it cracking, so 10 feet is the most, so we're not cracking there. It's based on a design, reclamation design that we vetted at Mission, Texas, that had been there 20 years.
Right.
And we walked that,
that's all right.
it looked great, as long as you get the compaction, the issue's always, now, one thing that Pete's doing, for example, on the riverside, where we have a lot of transitions, there's one here too, we are putting steel in a lot of steel in transitions. You know, like for example, if he's gotta go from shotcrete to an abutment wall, then we start putting doweling in rebar and doing all sorts of stuff, because it'll definitely sort of, what'll happen is, you'll get, especially what we're doing at Jonathan Rogers there, you'll get a erosion point where the water actually goes through the crack, through the construction joint, and washes out the back of it. So we have to put steel in those to make sure they don't separate. Yeah, it's a risk. I mean, would it be better with steel? Should it be a lot better with steel?
I don't mean a lot of steel, I just mean some kind of wire, I mean, chicken
Yeah,
wire.
Wire mesh?
Yeah, just some.
Chicken wire went up. The fiber does what chicken wire does, but we
Wire
would use
mesh,
that.
too,
Yeah,
chicken
we use a
wire.
wire mesh.
I just use that as a.
Hog panel.
I don't even know where that
You know, the
chicken wire
chickens, we go to the
is.
hogs, what it says.
That's just hog wire.
Also, keep in mind that what we're spraying is fairly thin. It's only about 2 to 3 inches thick.
Yeah, 2.5's the design.
Well, which concerns me.
Well, it's a low cost product.
No, I understand that,
We do use 4,000 PSI concrete.
Yes.
And we do use,
Fiber, I know.
we use triple the fiber because it's cheap. And,
3 pounds per pre-opening.
so, and it's held up so far, but you could always, it's the low cost alternative for, the lowest costs, reliable system.
Now, all these projects, keep in mind, shotcrete will not be used for this. This is all be concrete with rebar in it. Any
Forest.
structure that we
I
can
don't
use.
understand that, I just don't.
think, and all transitions of the shotcrete include 4-foot cutoff walls, or at least 2 foot in some places. And with reinforced steel running into the shotcrete. We use just number 4s and all that stuff. We could start doing panels. I mean, we could get pre-cut panels or made to drop in your 10-foot things of steel, but I guess we price that out and see what it is. That'd be great for me. I mean, I'd love to have steel in it. I know you guys probably won't.
Well, just make it that much stronger, you know?
Yeah.
The life of it may be more.
Right.
Yeah, I would not give this a 50 or 70. Most of our structures he's doing with steel are 75-year, is their expected life. I think this one's 20, right? Is what we-
Right.
Hopefully.
Well,
This one here is the Isla Lateral over by Bowman Road. This structure here is, it's been problematic for some time now. We've had several accidents here, this being the latest one here. So the city of Socorro has paid us to go in there and redo this and drop a 72-inch pipe in there. We're removing the bridge. And we're widening the road. We're going with a 60-foot road here. It's a 72-inch pipe.
just a private crossing? No, it's not.
It's ours.
So it didn't go through engineering, we didn't engineer it. This isn't unengineered, so it's just maintenance.
Right.
I don't know, on city streets, it's.
This one here is over by Ralph Chavez's place, under the drain, to enter his farm. And he also paid to get that culvert replaced, or the crossing replaced. That's Ralph Chavez's place here. And he also paid to get this bridge. This is the bridge where he was going over with one of his cotton pickers and he fell into the tornado. So the planks were removed, and we pretty much did the same thing we did over at Art's place, which is right here. This is a 90-inch pipe, also 2 sack into place. This is a 40-foot crossing. Another thing that we've done is Riverside well number 17. This one was a real good producer for Robert here. So we went ahead and sleeved it. This is Joey on it and Bobby Scope. They did this for us. They sleeved it with a 16-inch casing.
You ain't trouble getting it in there?
No, he got it into about 4 feet from the top. That's the last, and he was still able to drill it in about another 2 feet.
And it actually went down 90 feet.
It went down 94 feet, so we lost 2 feet on it.
If there's any.
It wasn't straight, yeah.
And the reason we
Well,
chose
it's
this,
broken where you couldn't get it.
Right, no, it was, we dropped the camera in it before,
yeah,
and there was it wasn't broken, it wasn't warped or twisted or anything. I mean, it looked pretty good. This was the perfect well to do this to. It went down to about 1.5
What's your
CFS.
camera show?
Wait a minute, back up. So what was it before?
Well, it used to be about a 3 CFS well, and it dropped down to about 1.25.
Just from recasing it? or-
No,
just over
before we
time?
recased it. Now that we recased it and we started it again,
Yeah.
right now we're getting a little bit over about 3
Okay.
feet.
I wonder what's wrong.
Wonder
How
why.
could that would do that? I don't understand
yeah,
that.
we were pumping gravel and,
We're pumping
Oh,
gravel out of
see,
it.
that's what it is.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna ask, there must have been some.
yeah. So we picked this one as a test well to see what we're gonna have to do in the future.
So is that 1/4 inch 16? Or-
Yes.
And is it, what's it, torch cut or is it
Yes, it is torch cut.
torch cut? How much did it cost?
Do you remember, Larry, what it was? Was it 10,000?
I think the total was, it was gonna, they gave us a price between 8 and 9,000.
Yeah, that's what it was, about $9,000.
Okay.
Yes. And
Yeah.
they're working all this.
And we pulled the pump.
And we actually,
Yes.
we've got video, Joey shot with his camera, we've got video before and then we have video afterwards.
Right.
Then we can show you all.
He dumped acid in it and then blasted it and
This,
trained our guys to do it.
this is a good, I mean, it worked good. Don't expect it on the next, you never know. They're all different, but I'm saying,
Right.
I mean, just because you did this one right,
And
and
we
we
have-
don't believe the written necessarily, and hopefully they are, but you never, they're all individuals, I guess.
Different animal.
Yeah. And we've got 3 others that are pumping gravel also.
Right.
Yeah, they got holes in the screen.
Yesterday,
Somebody put the wrong screen in it.
Yeah, we were the board, wanted to save money.
yesterday we actually vacuumed out one of
Why
our,
the board keeps wanting to save money, so we're student.
one of our wells that,
It's lasted more than 3 years.
we vacuumed one of our wells that was vandalized. Some kids went in there and dropped a whole bunch of trash inside the well. So we vacuumed it yesterday and started it up, and it worked pretty good, so we were all excited about that. And Martin went down to check on some of the other wells, and apparently we got hit on one of our wells.
And we gotta,
Everything was stolen on it.
oh, everything.
Everything was stolen. They stole the skid, they stole the motor, they stole the right angle drive. The only thing they left in place was the casing and the column pipe. The column pipe went down about 4 feet down.
Where is this?
Right by America's, behind the Feather Knight,
Wow, in the middle of town.
right in the middle of town.
Right, middle of town. Which is the best place to do when there's a lot of people around, they think everything's okay.
So we're having the police check the Featherlight cameras, the Wells Fargo bank cameras.
Yeah, the street camera should
To
pick
the
it up
opposite
too.
side.
But we don't know, we don't even have a target day that it was happening.
It happened, it had to have happened last week because we were there at that well on the 5th of November.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos to review.
And you know who also has camera speed is TechStop on Route 375.
Yeah, you'll see it going out on a truck, in the Texas.
Probably at the bridge, you'll see some pictures of it going across.
Yeah.
It's very proximal to the bridge.
They took the time to remove everything, then they covered the casing with boards, and then they covered it to make sure that we fell in.
Well,
That was nice.
Yeah.
But consider,
Yeah, consider, yeah. They know about, what is it, I can't even think of it.
So right now, we're trying to see if we can go ahead and pull that column pipe out and see if maybe we can save that well. You know, we'll have to airlift it and do some work to it. Luckily, we've got some other motors here that.
Well, it's good, good thing we have a 90-foot pump and a 96-foot hole that you could reach down and grab it without a tool. So they just dropped it, the pump down in the hole, right?
Yes.
Just cut it off.
And we're also gonna file an insurance claim on.
That's strange. They had to have a boom truck or
They
something.
know about OSHA because they covered everything with that.
There was actually marks from where they used like maybe a forklift or something with skids on the bottom
To
to pick it up because the markings were on the ground.
See, 2 years ago, they tried to do the same thing, and Pete was driving by, found the motor where it was already removed and placed aside.
It was outside the cage already.
Yeah. But this time they took the cage, they took everything.
Turn key,
Yeah.
and they put it over there to take up their pump.
We could go back and look at that telemetry program we had. That would set off an alarm then.
Well, and I wanted to show you some new cameras that I just got some paperwork on.
Right, one of the things, I mean, not only we want to GPS those waters, or, I mean, that's another option.
Yeah, we could do that, or, I don't know, that would help some, but I mean, if we just put the alarm on it, the operational ones that give Robert some operational data, that minimum, we've gone to the board with several telemetry designs for the wells. You know, the far end of it, you can actually start the pumps remotely, we don't recommend that because each engine's got problems. Yeah, you need to be there, and then the other end of it was basically just a flow rate number, so you can see how much is pumping and that's on. So you could easily add an intrusion, you know, if the thing, obviously clear that they go in and take everything, that it's gonna stop transmitting, and you can get an alarm right away, like we have on other sides. So that would give you like a 15-minute, is how often we pull those sides.
They did leave us our fuel tank though.
Huh.
It's been empty.
Actually, they did take it also, too. The only
They
thing they
did take
left was the,
I thought you said they rolled it over.
the 55-gallon drum of,
Oh, wow.
right, yeah, oil. That's the
Oh,
only
I
thing
thought
that
there
left
was a
behind.
fuel tank.
Yeah, that's worth quite a bit.
Luckily, the fuel tank was, it didn't have any fuel, in it was very little. So, but there's that pump, after it was finished. So we got a full pipe out of it. Now, the Riverside Canal, a couple of pictures of what it looked like, before we got started. This bridge is gone, this building is gone, this pole's gone, all this is gone already.
This is this monumental, because that was called the Golden Gate.
This is the gold, yes, the Golden Bridge.
So there's no more Golden Gate.
Now, all this right here is where we narrowed it for the PSP to take their water. There was a lot of big rock boulders in here. This whole area.
It's a great backwater for the.
Right. For the intake
emergency.
here. This side here was eroded around this way. This is where the American Canal comes in, kind of curves around this way. You see all the boulders here.
It's hard to even think of that as a canal, isn't it? Sort of like a floodway or something.
Yeah.
It's got so much debris in it.
This is the same area there. And then some of the work that we did, this is, again, the American Canal, this is where it kind of turns around up this way, kind of curves. We filled in this hole here already, and this hole on this side. There was a lot of dirt that came into this, and there's our D8 just pushing all the boulders out of the way.
Was that, that's not the river.
No, it's right there, Jonathan Road.
The river's right
Looked at
here.
those rocks in there with all that other stuff happened.
Yeah, these new rocks, we were using some of the same rocks when we pushed them into because of the PSB had some sort of inability to.
Yeah, there's still a whole bunch of here.
Because of the drought, we weren't running enough head or
Okay.
something. So they've been there for quite a few years. I think Greg put those there. It sort of helped, I
And
guess.
this is kind of what it's looking like. These are the lifts that we're going in. Going with 8-inch lifts, coming in here and compacting. With a lot of water in it. We still kind of come back in there and once we get the design from Al, we'll go in there and get the right markings and our measurements correct. We're basically just filling everything that's obvious.
You got a lot of work going on, Pete.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like time, huh?
Just the first 1,000 feet's pretty complicated because we have a lot of stuff going on.
This is the hardest part.
Yeah.
So our contingency plan is, there we go, there's the sheet. You just ran it that one, right?
Yes. And you can see as it's, that bank's just getting higher and higher. Henry Trujillo had some dirt to give us, so what I did is, I'll take your dirt, but you're gonna take it where I need it. He's taking it all the way to the riverside for us.
Has it got clay in it?
Yes,
All right.
the majority is clay.
So it'll look just like, remember that this project is, and it's a little bit expensive, because we are designing for 1,600 CFS, which is the flood capacity of the American Canal Extension, so we continue that capacity through the system and down to Wasteway 1, and we built the rest of it to handle that amount of flow, so it becomes fairly narrow, 14-foot bottom width, looks just like the American Canal, comes on down, matches us down below. We do have to expand in a few spots to accommodate a bridge and intake, and we've got a flow meter going in there at Weir. So,
But here you can see what we've narrowed this canal. That's all I have, Jimmy.
All right, thank you, Pete, keep up the good work. We're gonna have a little break. A little recess.